Welcome to Cyber Studies. If this is your first time here, my name is Giovanni. Thank you so much for stopping by. With Hackers Summer Camp right around the corner, there's never been a better time to prepare for some good times and having fun in the desert. Now, while there's a little bit of preparation work when it comes to these kind of things, we're here to have fun, we're here to enjoy ourselves, but I wish I would have known some of these things prior to coming out there, so I figured I'd make a small list of things to kind of check box before you go on your trip. Starting off this list, something more technical, more practical in nature, we want to go into our P&L settings or our preferred network list. We actually want to go into our Windows machine, go into our Windows settings, and clear out all of those saved Wi-Fis except for maybe like your home network. Going to a conference like this, there's going to be folks that are just doing mischievous things. They're just trying to be funny, doing it for the lulz, and it would be really unfortunate if the thing that caused you to have mishaps, demise, people messing with your stuff, is by them taking advantage of things like Starbucks Wi-Fi saved on your laptop. So by going in there, just very quick, just deleting anything that's saved in preference, you can get that list going again later on down the road. Maybe you don't. It's maybe not the best practice to have, but especially going to a conference, people are going to be trying to mess with stuff and just poking around. You don't want to make yourself an easy target. Man-in-the-middle attacks are very prevalent in that kind of attack vector, and you just don't want to be that one. Another thing you can do before you go on your trip is setting up how you're going to do your learnings, your events, your keynotes, your villages through the apps. So both Black Hat and DEFCON have their own app. I'm not exactly sure about B-Sides or any of the other conferences going on, but depending on what time they update it, last year it was around like the week before, you can go into the actual apps themselves and set up what keynotes, what trainings, what events you want to go to, and then maneuver that way. Last year they had it at like 2 different buildings for DEFCON, so it's kind of a mess if you were kind of winging it, so it's better to kind of have an idea of where you're going. And then some of the actual trainings at DEFCON last year, they took advantage of a platform known as Eventbrite. You may have to do that in advance. I know I was turned away from the Red Team Village, or like a badge making event. Just know that some of those things you may have to do prior. Gone are the days of paying for things in cash. The anonymity, the anonymousness of the conference is kind of going away. So if you want to get into some of these courses or some of these training events or some of these fun things to do, you may have to do it in advance and use incognito mode or pay for it in advance, but whatever. Now, if you're not going with a group of people, one of the really cool resources that have been community built for quite some time now is the LHC, the Lonely Hackers Club. So they have their own website. They also have things like subreddits and discords, but you can actually go in there and plan a meetup. I know at DEFCON last year they did like a resume building course. It was something to do with like Igor's, like a scavenger hunt kind of a thing, I believe. But they have all these different little activities that it's more for like social group building, more or less. You can go to your trip, meet up with folks, carpool, what have you, meet up to some of the different events. If you were going, you didn't kind of know how to maneuver downtown, you don't want to go by yourself. So it allows people to click up in a very low lift way. Now, depending on how you got to this trip, per diem, money for food, what have you, I thought it was kind of, it's typical for conferences. I mean, your miles may vary, but to pay $14 for a hot dog was kind of lame, and the food court right next to Black Hat is charging those prices. So it's kind of, if it's something you're looking to do, just understand that like all the food in the conference building themselves, so all the concierge services, all the things, whatever, are just really expensive. So scoping out restaurants in the local area, you might save a couple bucks by doing so. Fast food places do still exist in Vegas. It's just expect to pay a premium inside the buildings themselves. There's a convenience factor and you will pay for it. Another one of those technical things is going into your phone or whatever your primary device is, if you're gonna bring your daily carry, your main driver, and going in through and turning off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. Don't just hit the button to disable it for 24 hours. Your radios are still technically on. You need to go into the settings themselves and actually turn off the the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, so that way no one's trying any goofy stuff. I think there's a big push recently with Bluetooth hacking, and so you don't want to make yourself an easy target. That's like the whole thing. You don't want to end up as on the wall of sheep. You don't want to connect to, you know, sketchy looking access points. You don't want to do all these things that kind of set yourself up for failure. I mean, good practice, everyday stuff, but this is like the swimming with the sharks. you don't want to leave anything up to chance, especially when people are just bored and they want to show off their elite Hagzor skills. You don't want to be that guy or gal. So just make sure you have your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth turned off, NFC off, all the radio things, turn them off. If you're going to use a charger to charge your phone, I personally took like one of those little portable power banks because I don't want to be tethered to the wall while my phone's charging. But if you had to use a wall charger or use someone else's cable, they have those USB data blockers, or you can splice your own USB cable so it's just power only. You can get the non-data cables on Amazon fairly cheap. Just don't trust anything. I mean, obviously people are great, you know, there's just so much stuff going on. The whole mantra is you don't want to make yourself an easy target at these things. You can still bring your phone. You don't need to bring a burner phone. You know, the whole the Fed is listening thing. It's 2024, so I mean it's not as much as a problem because it's kind of expected. But you just, again, radio's off, you'll be fine. And the last thing on this list, just to keep it nice and short, is just be a good human being. This one is what's the 3-2-1 rule? It's get 3 hours of sleep. You want to have 2 meals, and then you want to have 1 shower a day. You want to respect people in your space. You don't want to inconvenience them with, you know, body odors and whatever. But also, you can't enjoy the stuff if you're not properly hydrated and you're not, you know, eating properly. The trip is a lot of fun. The vendor parties are out of this world, especially it's in Las Vegas. So you get to experience a lot of really cool stuff. There's ice bar, there's bars where the ceiling is kinetically moving and all this crazy stuff. But you're also just around a bunch of other people, and you know, debatably introverts, extroverts, you know, are in there as well. But I mean, people are coming out of their shell to indulge in this experience with their fellow minded individuals, and we don't need people walking around being pompous, you know, gatekeeping and doing whatever. You're amongst your peers. Enjoy yourself, have fun. You know, don't be a jerk. It's just one of those fun experiences where, you know, people all around the world will come there to, you know, share their information. They want to learn some stuff. They want to, you know, slap keyboards on some old tech or some new tech. You'll see people like in the hallways just soldering stuff. It's crazy. Bio Village, I saw a gentleman putting an RFID chip in his hand. I mean, just really goofy, fun stuff. But just be a good person, have fun, enjoy yourself, take notes, you know, have fun. Just, you know, don't be a jerk. And if you wanted to see what Black Hat and DEFCON looked like last year, you may enjoy this video right here where I show you my experience. Thank you very much and have a good one.